What are the things that you feel Trump has changed, good or bad?
Oh, good.
Mm.
Building the wall. That that's it's gotten a lot of bad media rep, of course, because most of the mainstream media leans Democrat, but the wall. And I think that's important because there's a big wave of people that want to come over here, right? And on the surface, that's not a bad thing. Like, okay, America, home of the free, land of the brave, come as you are, whatever. Except it affects lower class workers here. So, or I'm gonna just say black people. Like, we're one of the least educated groups, the least skilled groups, and so that puts us in direct competition with them, all of them. And if we got to compete for jobs with millions and millions of low, potentially low paying, unskilled labor, then that puts us at a disadvantage. Another positive foreign policy. Um, I think it's important to put America first. I know that's a buzzword for some would say like white supremacists. Oh, America first. That's racist and whatnot. But where do you live? Like where we live here. Why not put the people first? Whether that's economics, trade deals, all of the things that could potentially help us. Like he's done a great job reforming trade deals. Bad the entire social aspect of it, whether it's him going off script and saying some wild stuff. Yes, he could have held his tongue, but I guess that's not in his nature. That I really only see as the only bad thing that he's done. And not on purpose, of course. I think the media. I really have a thing against the media, honestly,
Yeah.
because they lie. I'm gonna go all the way back to at least my lifetime. You could start with the war on terror. Like you were sold. It's kind of related. I'll get to it. The war on terror. Like Saddam has weapons of mass destruction. 10 years later, we figured out that was a lie. Pretty much all of our engagements in the Middle East were a lie, and they covered it up. And so from there on, you have no credibility. And so the way they shouldn't have any credibility for anything really. And so it's easy to pick apart what they say about Trump. One example is, well, shit, any of them really. The whole RussiaGate thing. Supposedly he was colluding with Russia with stealing the election. Um, there was a guy, not the Manafort. I forget his name, but that's a really good example because they basically tried to say Russia helped this man Trump steal the election, which turned out to be false. And if you look into some of the things that Trump did relating to Russia, he sold Russia weapons, right? Not Russia. He sold Ukraine weapons. Ukraine, the eastern part of Ukraine, there's like two, I guess, counties, or they've decided to secede from Ukraine and side further with the Russians. And basically, there's a civil war. And so what Trump did was sell them weapons to fight Russian intervention. I think that's a major middle finger to the Russians. So there's no way he could possibly be colluding with the Russians.
So with Trump building the wall, you think that was towards mainly like the Mexicans and stuff like that? Because immigration and stuff. He after he was talking about the building the wall, he was talking about taking sending all of them back who was here illegally. How do you feel about that?
People who already have
Yeah.
their homes here.
But they don't have the actual documents to support it, like green card and stuff like that.
So they have a home here, no documentation.
Basically, they basically was born here, but they didn't have any documentation.
Now that's different. If you're born here, you
they're
have.
legally considered
Yeah.
U.S. citizens.
Yeah.
But if their parents immigrated here
The parents
without the
would be
paperwork, then the
eligible.
parents would be taken away from the kids and they'll have to be deported back to where they were. But the kids who are born here, I think they are allowed to.
Yeah,
They're
they
native.
have
Yeah, once you're
Because
born
they were born here.
Yeah.
Right. Well, with the families, him breaking up all not breaking up all of them, but like the parents who came here illegally, didn't have a green card, and then they're
They
forced to
got
go back, and they got to leave all their family members here, the people who they raised here. How do you feel about that?
I think that's extremely, extremely unfortunate. It really is sad.
Yeah.
People try to come here for a better life, which you would think you're entitled to, except like any random person walk in the house from the street, right? And they're like, feed me, I need help, whatever. How obligated do you think you are to help them? Your household specifically,
Right.
like it's tough. You wanna help people, but at the same time too, it does put a burden on the rest of us that pay taxes. So say this person, goes on welfare or takes advantage of all the social programs that regular citizens do or legal citizens do. It is unfair to a certain amount. So what I think is a decent solution is, help, whether it be through trade deals or just goodwill. Help Mexico be a good place, or wherever these people are coming from. Help those places be a good place so they don't have to flee and come here. Or yeah.
Yeah.
And it's unfair, but you have to have a front door, or else anybody can come in.
So do you think that maybe he should have had, because I know with the process of becoming legal in the United States, it's kind of a long process.
And really expensive.
Do you think that maybe he could have came up with a better idea or a better way for people to actually get the paperwork and stuff done?
100%. I'm not a politician. I don't know all the legal loopholes and financial economic loopholes you have to jump through to get something like that to work with a finite budget. But yeah, if there's a way, definitely I would encourage it. I would hope that he provided something to help those people get over here cheaper and faster. But again, you got to do it the right way. And if you do make it over here, our laws say that you gotta go back or pay the consequences, I guess.
So you think it's more of America having a fear that they are taking over if they bring too many over here, and then they will become presidents one day, or they will become politicians, and then they'll be wiping out the other races. Well, technically the white race, because white race is more into that environment more. But you think they have that fear of bringing them over here, and then they're taking over everything, and then they have no power anymore?
Yeah, I think that could play a part, definitely. But um, it's hard even for Black people to break into to positions of power. Especially we're so fractured, but that it's a realistic opinion to have if you think like that.
So if you were Trump,
If
you were the president, and these people were immigrating and coming into your country, would you have done it the same exact way that he did, or you would have changed some parts of it?
Holding facilities, cages is, I think, a stretch. Is a stretch, and I don't know if there were actual cages.
There were. I've seen the pictures. They look like cages.
Holding facilities is, you can't afford, or I'm sure they don't have the budget to build a whole bunch of nice homes for these people to wait in while we sort out where you're from, where you're going, and how we're gonna get you there. So if you got to throw something up cheap, a cage, and I'm look. I want to be careful with my words, just so
I understand.
it's not thrown back at me later. This is going on the internet. So,
do you feel that Trump brought more good or bad things through his years he was president?
100% more good things. Unemployment rates at all-time lows, including Black unemployment, all-time lows. Stock markets at all-time highs. And you could just look around. Black businesses were thriving. Of course, until COVID, which is for the next video. But yeah, you saw all the nail techs, all the
musicians.
Boom, left and right, everybody getting money. Everybody had a job. I won't say everybody. Everybody who wanted a job, I'm sure, could find a job. And I think that's really important for the Black community. We stay working, we're progressing. What else? That's really the main thing, the economy.
How do you feel about the when before Biden became president? How do you feel about the little riot that happened?
You talking about the
You
Capitol riot?
Yes.
Trump January 6th?
Right. Do you feel like it was his fault?
If you watch the speech right before those people marched to the Capitol, he clearly said, go there peacefully. Again, the media. Then this is it's cut when they went to trial for Trump's impeachment. They showed how the media cut out when he said go to the Capitol peacefully and protest, and that's what they tried to get it on.
I only seen a minute and something clip, but it was longer.
And then they deleted it from all major social medias. Facebook deleted it, Twitter deleted it, Instagram. Like you couldn't find the full video of him giving that speech, and that's really scary. People need to be careful with that. But that's another reason why he didn't get impeached, because
Yeah,
he
they
didn't
kept trying to impeach him since
I
twice.
say it's
Twice tried to impeach him twice. If that says anything, like an impeachment is a big deal for a politician. That basically says you can't ever be in politics again. And so for him to get off, I won't say get off, for him to be proven innocent twice, should say something to people. But it was a
They
witch
even
hunt,
tried even after he,
which is illegal.
Yeah, they tried again. So, do you think had that crowd been predominantly black people, would they have been so easily able to get through their period before even getting to the door to break into the door or walk in the door, whichever one you want to say?
I mean, the police stood down while they burned Minneapolis down. Like, yeah, it depends on what side they're on, honestly. And you see what side gets demonized and what side gets away with it. Although there, no, I won't say there's justification for burning down stuff or busting windows out the Capitol. There isn't justification for that. But what's more important is that you see both sides the same. Right and wrong are right and wrong, regardless.
Right.
So I think it's you need these people. These people, whether you agree with them or not, were willing and brave enough to storm the Capitol, where these politicians that haven't been listening to us have been, in my opinion, ruining the country. And so you need that brave group of people.
How do you mean they ruin the country? Example of
these
them ruining the country.
these politicians that don't listen to us. Like, what are some things that the black community has been begging for recently or throughout the years?
We just want equality. We want fair education, because we all know the education in poor neighborhoods is not as good as it is in the rich neighborhoods. So we need more funding there.
How long have we been asking for this? Why haven't we stormed the Capitol? Why haven't we stormed the Capitol?
But because we probably was scared we'd get shot down, arrested, taken.
Okay, fair enough. So if we can
Speaking from
find,
people who don't do protests,
That's terrible what I've seen. Like,
no, I agree. But if we can find common ground with those people that we view as enemies, and they have the bravery to go up to Washington and bust out the windows and say, like, hey, our voices are not being heard, or we think something is wrong, I think it's important to ally with these people on certain groups, especially if they have the bravery